Custom categories. You need them for your TpT store. Let's talk about why. My Teachers Pay Teachers store has around 1,000 products depending on when you're seeing this. So let's say a teacher is doing a Google search for help with a distributive property for their 6th grade class, and they stumble upon this magnificent color by numbers activity for their 6th grade students, and they love it, they buy it, and they think, this is amazing. This is definitely what my students are going to love. And he's right, it's going to be awesome. But then he says, man, I like this so much. I wonder what other resources this guy has for 6th grade students, or what other color by numbers activities does he have for my 6th graders. And so he goes back to my store and he sees 900 resources or 1,000 resources, and he starts scrolling and he's not going to see any other resources for a while that meet what he's looking for, because I've got a lot of resources in there, and none of them are going to be on the most recently updated page or my best sellers. So you think, no big deal, he can go to the search bar and he can search in my store for that specific resource. But the problem is, well, there's many. For example, what if he types in add fractions, but I've labeled it adding fractions? It's not going to show up. Or what if he types in a different resource that I don't have, but I have something that's close to a similar standard that's going to fit perfectly for him? He's not going to find it by using the search store. This is why we need custom categories. If the custom categories section was set up in place, all he would have to do is go over there and click on the 6th grade button and then click on the color by numbers button, and he would see all of those resources that I have. So custom categories are going to create easier customer navigation. Customers who are using your custom categories are exploring. They're likely already someone who's warmed up to your brand. So that's a valuable customer. In other words, these categories are going to get you higher conversions. I want to remind you that getting someone who's already purchased one of your items to click on your custom categories and explore and buy something, that's much more likely to happen than for someone to find your product organically and make a purchase. Remember, warmed up customers convert at a much higher rate than cold customers. So that's why updating your TpT store with custom categories is so important. Custom categories will guide your customers to the product or products that is just perfect for them. And in the scenario I laid out before, this could result in multiple purchases just by setting these up. So, what custom categories should you have? Try and think through your best resources, your product lines, the types of products that you have. You saw I had like color by numbers. Maybe you have lesson plans or labs or stations or activities or whatever. But the types of resources, the subjects, the grades, or the units inside the subjects, all these things can be custom categories. Think through how you think they're going to navigate through your TpT store, and then try and set up your categories to help facilitate easier navigation. The whole point of these custom categories is for them to find the things that are going to fit them perfectly. So think through what kind of teacher is looking through your store. For me, in that example, it was 6th grade math teacher. So 6th grade should definitely be a category. They were looking for a specific type of resource. So that type of resource should be a category. Okay, how many categories should you have? If you have too many, it's going to get confusing. It's also a lot of work for you, especially if you're like me and you've got hundreds of resources and you're just now setting them up. But you want there to be enough so that the customer can drill down to find exactly what they're looking for, but you don't want there to be too many that they're overwhelmed or they don't find what they're looking for because of all the different options. So I want to remind you what Albert Einstein said. Everything should be as simple as possible, but not simpler. So you don't want too many, you don't want too few. How to make custom categories. You're going to go to your Teachers Pay Teachers store and you're going to click on the store icon and you're going to go to product listings. So from your product listings page, you're going to scroll down and you're going to see the custom categories. Now you see I have some already, but you might not. You're going to click on manage your categories. And from here, you can click the add new categories button to create a new category title. And what's really cool is that it gives you now the opportunity to write a description about this custom category, which I think you should do. Now, one thing I do want to show you is there are websites you can go to. I like this one, Emojipedia. Anyways, there are websites you can go to where you can find emojis and then you just hover over them and you copy and paste them. So you just literally hit Control C, and then your custom categories, you would hit Control V. Now, not all emojis that you find on the internet are copy and pastable. I've been playing around with Emojipedia for a while, and it seems like all of them are copy and pastable. Now, the other problem I sometimes have is coming up with a good idea for an emoji. So a little trick I like to do is go to ChatGPT and I'll ask it this question. I'm making a custom categories for a collection of teacher resources that are products in my digital store on Teachers Pay Teachers. The category is, and I'm going to type in learning stations, and it consists of products that then you ask, what would a good emoji be to represent this custom category? I need the emoji to be able to be copied and pasted onto Teachers Pay Teachers. And last time I did it, it didn't give me this long definition, but this time you see that it does give me one. Last time it just gave me the emoji. Maybe my prompt is longer than it was last time. Anyhow, you can see that you can paste that right in there. So if you're struggling with what emoji would be a good representation of your custom category, and you can scroll on Emojipedia and you can search for emojis, like you can search for fire or whatever. They also have them by categories. It's kind of cool. But if you don't know, like if you can't think of a good one, ask ChatGPT for help, and I found it pretty helpful. After you've created your custom categories, you're going to go back to your products, and all you have to do is click on them from this screen. Just click the quick edit button and you scroll down and you'll see the custom categories section, and they will automatically appear, or you can type them in. You start clicking to add them, then hit update, and they'll be in that custom category.